So I recently made a video on how and why I quit alcohol at 24 years old, and of course the insane transformative effects it had on my entire life because of that. Well, the truth is there are plenty of other things and habits that I had during that time that I also have shifted out of that have contributed towards these insane positive changes in my life. And one of those were, one, smoking weed, marijuana, and two, one that many people may not know, smoking cigarettes. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about basically how and why I was able to wean off of that, quit that completely, along with the alcohol, and again, how it led to this amazing life transformation that I continue to experience every single day going forward. So let's get started. What's good, YouTube? It is Coach John back again with another video, and I like to drop weekly videos on how you can improve your fitness, your health in every way, whether it's lose fat, build muscle, build confidence, build energy, build the mind. If you're interested in any of that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and the like button as well. Also, I do want to mention that my one-on-one coaching does have some spots currently open. If you're looking to take advantage of having a coach like myself in your corner to help you get to your goals, click the link down below, fill in an application, we'll jump on the phone and see if we're a good fit to work together in order to do that. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the backstory. So similar to the alcohol, between the ages of 14 up to around 18, I was actually heavily into partying, like I mentioned, even a few years afterwards, close to around 21, 22 years old, but it was specifically in high school. So between the ages of 14 to 18 for me, that I was heavily engaging in smoking marijuana and cigarettes, as well as the alcohol and the incessant partying. When I say I was heavily engaged in it, I mean heavily engaged. I smoked more weed in those 4 years of high school than most people will smoke in several decades or even their lifetime. Obviously, I'm not saying this that I'm proud of that by any means, but I do not regret the decisions I made in the past, as they have all led to where I am today, and that I am proud of. So if I'm being honest, the reason I picked up smoking cigarettes and smoking weed was mainly because I wanted to try to be popular. I wanted to try to be cool. It's funny because little did I realize being cool really entails being yourself, being true to yourself, and I was not doing that. I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't, which is actually the opposite of being cool. Now, I wasn't one of these people that went to the smoker's pit or was associated with those types of people, those degenerates. I would never hang out with them, of course. My friends were way better. The point is I was doing these things quite a bit at that time, okay? And the truth is even at my age now, which is 25 years old, it is still more common than not for people to smoke weed. I know plenty of, if not most of the people that I went to high school with that are still doing that, and there's a lot of people that didn't even do it in high school that are doing it now, and so it's still something very common. So the question is why and how did I stop? Well, here's the deal. I noticed this as I started to get out of high school and into kind of starting to understand that I should probably do something with my life. Look, some people can smoke weed and still be productive, still get amazing grades, still get shit done. I had people, some of my friends in high school, that were able to do that. I unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, was not one of those people. You see, whenever I would smoke weed, I just didn't want to do a thing, and I didn't do a thing. I just wanted to think, be alone with my thoughts, be alone with the feeling, eat, and that was pretty much it. So it essentially demolished any and all productivity throughout this time, and as a result, my school grades suffered tremendously, though I didn't care because I was pretty much high all the time, and it pretty much crushed any aspirations of doing anything significant in my life afterwards. Now, when it comes to cigarettes, again, I was smoking them, but cigarettes were just dumb, and luckily I was raised off of great foundations and principles that I knew this entire time. I was just trying to smoke to be cool, and so I never really liked it. It was very easy for me to stop. I understood how bad it was for you, not to mention I was still working out throughout this entire time, and you could feel day to day the detrimental effects it had on my cardio and just my overall health. I hated the smell, all these things, but I still did it for 4 years. But the thing about the marijuana is that I never had any concerns about weed and my health. Obviously at this time it was quite obvious that, look, weed doesn't kill the way cigarettes does. It doesn't lead to cancer. At least this was the impression I was under at the time, and I still don't think that marijuana or weed is really that harmful to your physical health. Obviously it must be to a degree, but probably not that bad. But it was the unproductive dopamine habit that it created, that constant craving or release of dopamine that I wanted to feel every single day that really was the issue that I felt, that I think was even more important than my physical fitness at the time, in order for me to actually go down a path of being somebody or having a decent or living a decent life at some point. And actually throughout this time, as I was still smoking around 18, 19, I stumbled upon a few transformative epiphanies. And I always remember the one time I had an epiphany. I was out with my friends, it was nighttime, we were overlooking Toronto. I remember this one time I was sitting there and I just happened to look around and I saw everybody, all my friends, same guys I was with 5 years ago, but we all had beards now, we all had facial hair growing out. We were all 19, we're all turning into, we were adults now. And I looked around and it felt like somebody just snapped their fingers and 5 years went by in a flash. And I look around and it was the same kids, but we're now men. 5 years doing the same thing. What was I doing with my life? Nothing. What were they doing? Nothing. And here we were, you know, maybe 1 a.m. sitting just smoking weed. And I had this epiphany and I realized that another 5 years will go like that. If the last 5 did, another 5 will, and then another 5, and then I'll be 24, then I'll be 29. And next thing you know, I'm going to regret doing this. And I had several different epiphanies, but that was the most powerful one, the first one I had, that started to propel me into quitting and weaning off of it. So here are some of the benefits as to what I experienced when cutting it out. One of the things I immediately experienced was better sleep. Now, a lot of people think that smoking weed helps them sleep. This is not the case. I've made several videos on this. The science is clear. Smoking weed and the THC effect it has on the brain actually impairs sleep, okay? And so sleep was actually improved significantly, and I felt good when I woke up. Sometimes you don't feel so good, it causes you to want to smoke again, and it creates that destructive cycle. I felt great. I started feeling good again when I woke up, when I was sober. Obviously, another thing, according to what I mentioned before, better productivity. I was getting more work done. I was actually getting, I was moving up in my job. I got into sales. I actually started picking up books, reading books. I started taking things a little bit more seriously. I actually had more fun. This is another huge one that people might be a little bit shocked at, but I started to experience the true joy of life sober. I had more fun throughout the day. And I think anybody that actually relies on an external substance like marijuana, as harmless as it may seem or be, I think that that's a root of a deeper issue. If you need something external to actually experience the greatest highs of life, it's really just like covering a band-aid on a deeper mental sort of issue, and maybe a little controversial, but this is my belief on it, and based off what I experienced and what many others experienced after that have told me that they've quit, they've experienced similar things to me, is that you actually realize that the greatest highs, the greatest joys in life do not come from any drugs. And drugs are really just a temporary sort of a taste of that high that you can achieve sober if you had your mind right, if you were in a state where you were where you loved being sober and you loved life enough that you didn't need these substances to achieve that. Obviously, one goes without saying here, and that's better health, better cardio, better body composition, more energy, more confidence, just feeling better overall and performing better. Another one that's a little bit more intangible would be leading by example. I started to become an example for all those around me who hadn't quit yet or who hadn't been doing anything with their lives. They saw the transformation I started making, and a lot of people started following suit, and relationships got better with the people around me, and it was really just a good experience. If you think about it, it is a lot more difficult to be somebody that society would look up to if you're always smoking weed. If you're a stoner, probably not going to happen. And especially if you're smoking cigarettes all the time, come on, it's 2020, we should all know better. And by the way, that goes for those Juuls as well, and vaping. Same shit. Another thing that's huge, a lot of people are always dealing with anxiety. Well, I found that a lot of people that deal with anxiety are usually smokers of some sort, whether it's cigarettes or weed, and they claim that it's those things that help them with the anxiety, when in fact, they are ultimately probably one of the biggest contributing factors to why you're experiencing it so often. Look, the deal is I have nothing against people that smoke weed. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. It's your life. This message is not for those people that enjoy it and want to keep doing it. This message is for the people out there who may be on the edge or maybe on the fence of quitting it, or who are starting to wean off of it and are wondering if is it worth it to cut it out, right? And let me say this, I lost a lot of friends along the way that I realized we're not even real friends. They were just my friends so that we can go and do that stuff. That was really all we had in common. And so again, I would say that if you're somebody on the fence who wants to quit and you want to pursue something greater in your life, you want to make something better of your life, and you know you can, then I'm here to tell you and give you this video as insight to you know that it's probably a better decision. All I can say is this: it's going to hold you back no matter where you are, no matter what you do. A lot of people out there might be seeing great results even though they're smoking weed, and they might think, hey, I'm doing great in life and I'm still smoking it. Sucks for you, but you're wrong. The truth is how much better could you be doing in that case if you weren't smoking it? Let's be honest here. If two people are driving a car and we're both going 200 miles per hour, all of a sudden one person gets a little bit of marijuana THC in their system, somebody's going to slow down there because the paranoia rises, the anxiety rises, and it's going to be the person that smoked. So that just goes to show, and we all know that that's true, that just goes to show that it will slow you down no matter who you are, where you are smoking it. Sure, it may not impair your health physically, but mentally, spiritually, there's a lot of other realms where I think that smoking weed, especially often and abusing it, is probably not in your best interest. Again, enjoy it if you do. This message is only for those of you who want to reach your potential, achieve and strive for it, get better every single day, and really try to figure out and get the most out of life. I think that cutting bad habits out, like smoking weed, will not only get you in a path that you can achieve these goals from a materialistic, physical, and mental standpoint, but also from a spiritual. And so with that said, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If so, please hit that like button. Let me know and comment below if you enjoy videos like this or any other videos you want to see. I'd be happy to make them for you. And thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll be dropping another video of different habits like I do, like this one, to provide some more insight as to what might be the right route for you to choose so you can achieve your purpose, your goals, and what you're after in life. So again, thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Love y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.